Okay, question 1. Let's get going. I'm pressing record. What we have is a chart of Obama's judicial appointments versus Bush's judicial appointments. I have to caution you when it comes to FRQs that, I don't know, just be careful. I remember this at my AP Gov training that like a lot of kids get these wrong because they're like, George Bush hates black people or something. Or they'll say George Bush never appoints any black people. It's like, well, yes, he does. He appoints 7%. Like that's so you have do not speak in opinions or absolutes when it comes to data unless that's true. If it was 0, you can say that, but don't say that if it's not 0. So, using the chart above, one similarity between Bush and Obama. What is one similarity? Both Bush and Obama. There's a few correct answers here. Appoint a... How about majority white people? Oh. Why? Who? I never did that. Why is it like that? Can someone press freeze on the wall? Avery, you punk. I can see your smile from the back of your head. Right? Couldn't you see it? That's because those cheeks, they're very smiley. Okay. They both appoint a majority white judges, and then I'm going to say Bush, I don't need parentheses, I guess. Bush appointed, this is where you want to be real specific. Bring it back to very specific. Oh, I'm reading Obama. Bush appointed 82% white, and Obama appointed 59% white. That's it. You just got full points for A. You can also say they both don't appoint a lot of Asian, and then you can say Obama appointed 8 and Bush appointed 1. But don't ever speak in opinions or absolutes. When I said majority, that's not an opinion. That's a numerical fact because they're over 50%. Yes. It's hard because I don't really hear what you're saying. Oh, I see. Yeah, I think that was another on the key, right? That I remember one of them said the numbers are pretty close, and you can mention the ones that are pretty close. Yeah. B. Using the chart above, tell me 2 differences between how they make appointments. Obama appointed more women, yeah? Obama, by the way, when you're writing your FRQ, don't be lazy like me. I'm just outlining right now. I would say, there are many differences, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You're going to have all that intro crap. Our FRQs are suffering because we're getting so comfortable with each other that you guys are, practically bullet pointing. But anytime I pull up, a sample from College Board, they're really well written, page and a half, FRQs. So, can we realize that what you do with me, you're not going to do on the test? You're going to be would everyone say, well, yeah, of course? Or I want you to do way more on the Big Papa test. Yes.
Where's my umbrella?
Right here. I don't want you to open it though. Okay. Obama appointed more than double the amount of women. 46% versus 22% for Bush. I feel like I always want to check the key just so I'm not telling you guys something wrong. Okay, women is the very first thing, and they say the percent. Always say the percent, please. Even though, because they want to know that you can read a chart. So always say the percent, even though a chart like this to me is so simple and easy to understand, still prove that you can read the chart and you know specific. Alright, how about another difference? Obama is more likely to appoint minorities than Bush. For example, You guys are probably getting this right, I'm guessing. So it's not that big of a deal. But question C, explain why the president's party affiliation accounts for differences in appointments. The key says the president chooses nominees with similar views who will rule in a similar manner, in a manner consistent with the president's policies. Okay. Republican presidents often pick Republican nominees for the courts. By doing this, they are picking candidates that are ideologically similar. What? Oh, maybe they need to change it or something. I mean, I don't know why they didn't look at the key. All right, question D. Do I need to talk about more? Yeah, let's talk about more. I mean, like, for instance, Obama's voters are more diverse than, how do I, let's just say are a racially diverse group. Thus, his picks for the court mirror that of his supporters. Okay, he picks women, and women vote Democrat more often. He picks racial minorities, and racial minorities vote Democrat more often. Bush doesn't need, this is harsh, but Bush doesn't need to make minorities that happy because that's not his voter base. And that is kind of how America works, you know. Like it or hate it, that's how we work. Question D says, describe one way the president can increase the chances of having his nominations be confirmed. Well, if I'm the president and I'm nominating someone to the court, the president can be sure to investigate. In the key, this is referred to as vetting. Do you remember the Sarah Palin movie that we watched as a class? Do you remember that they did not properly vet her? Because, like, that was the word they kept using in the movie because all these surprises came up, like, what? We didn't know this, we didn't know that, we didn't know she doesn't know anything, we didn't know her kid was pregnant, we didn't know her husband joined some weird political party, because they didn't investigate her past. So if I'm a president, I don't want to be caught off guard with some weird scandal from my candidate's past. So the president can sure to investigate and vet his candidate so that no surprises will keep the candidate from being, what's the word? Confirmed. And the key says, the president can also choose someone who is more moderate, making both parties happy. Remember that time Obama picked somebody and the Republicans refused to hear they didn't want to hear about it when Scalia died? He picked a moderate because he knew, like, I don't even know if they're going to hear about this, so he's like, I'm going to pick the most safe. He picked a Republican judge who was like moderate and they still wouldn't hear it. It's like he knew that it wasn't going to work out for him, so he tried to pick the safest candidate ever and it still didn't work out. Did you guys see what I tweeted? That Anthony Kennedy is likely to retire this summer? That it makes me sad because I think moderates are good for this country. And like I said, I would have a court of 9 Kennedys if I could. Because I think that's what this country needs. Maybe 4 Kennedys. Okay, are you all happy to move on from one? Not quite? Oh, you're packing up your umbrella. Smart. You're all done coloring? Okay. Question 2 says the judicial branch is often assumed to be protected, insulated, immune from politics, but politics do affect the judiciary. I gotta do something here. Do I need to go up? Describe 2 factors that affect the president's decision to appoint members to the judiciary. Help me out with that. What's the key say? Gender? I don't think there is any in here. Alright, one political factor that the president considers when appointing a judge is, close this. Let's see. I don't know which question it is. Okay. Alright, I'm not saying my key for this one, but... Okay, gender, is that correct? Does it explain that at all? It just says gender. I mean, is race one as well? Yeah. Okay, so like for instance, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg was to retire, a president might be pressured to select another woman. And then race, oh this is not B though, race, same thing. Think of, what was the guy before Clarence Thomas? Thurgood Marshall.
Can I go color?
Sure. Just don't mention it.
Is he gonna write on the board?
Oh wait, what are you holding?
Oh, a heart there.
I was like, I'm not going to find anything. And there's a drawer just like full of markers. Okay. Race. Think of Thurgood Marshall. I guess I should explain. He retired, but he was in what is unspokenly considered the black seat, so replaced with not Clarence. Clarence. Again, I can't do it. Did anyone notice that on the video I kept on saying Clarence? Clarence Thomas? I know, I realized that. I spelled it wrong. Yes? Success rate? Is it on the key? Okay. Another answer? Probably the best answer. Success rate? I don't have the key in front of me, so that's why I'm... No, yeah, it's still 2A. A controversial pick might not be made because Prez wants it approved. Is that on there? Is that different from success rate? Yeah. I'm not going to keep listing every answer though, because I think these are the better ones. Okay. Question B. Identify... What the heck? I don't like that. Identify two political factors that affect the confirmation process of a president's nominees. Are they different?
It said same factors, and then it goes on.
But you can't repeat. But in my class, just so you know, you can't have the same answers in A and B. So save A for the ones you're not going to use in B. Does that make sense? I don't want like gender and race and then gender and race again.
Can you put party? Can we not get this one? Can you just take off?
Well, hold on. I have hands up.
Can you just take out A?
Can I see the key? You got the key? Scandal. There's some new stuff. Let's do new ones. Let's be honest, a lot of people will watch a video and just do whatever we say, so. And the people that don't will be screwed. Two identifications. So this is a 4-point B, so we really got to take our time here. Filibuster, gender, holds, home state senator, ideology. If Nolan what? No, I don't think he is, because a lot of times he says, like, that's pink, and I'm like, whoa, is it? And my wife says, yes, it is. Did he do it backwards?
I feel like I remember doing that as a kid.
He's a little confused about left to right.
Yeah, I used to.
Well, we're really learning a lot. Okay, wait. Same, but don't repeat part A. You got to pick different stuff. So let's go with issue positions. This is an easy one. If a candidate is against, say, abortion, for instance. That's a whole lot of commas and whatever. But the Democratic Party in the Senate will not support them. How about if the candidate is not just against, but like all right, that's one. Religion. Let's go with religion. Do I want to do religion? There's so many answers here. I mean, scandal is good. How about Clarence Thomas? What is going on over there? He's getting more people are paying attention to him than me right now. Guys, B is worth 4 points. Make sure that you have 2 brand new issues and that you can explain how they affect the nomination process. So do not mention the same ones in A. I actually think race and gender are good to not mention in B. That something like this is better, that where it causes controversy. So I'm happy with the way that we wrote the answer. Letter C, explain one legislative power. Oh, cool. There's all kinds of answers here.
And he was like, he didn't let me leave. And I was like, I have to go back to Robinson's. And he was like, screw Robinson. And I was like, what? He was like, I'm just kidding. I love that guy. He's my neighbor. Ask him about me.
Yeah, he is my neighbor. I was talking to him this morning. I always drive by his house. He just moved
Jeep?
there. Yeah,
Right?
I see his Jeep. Jackie.
Yeah. He was like, ask him about my Jeep. I love him. I was like, okay. I will.
What just happened? What was that? That was weird. Okay. All right. The question is, how can Congress check the power of the judiciary? I have not even looked at the key. I'm assuming it agrees with me. Oh yeah, it does. We talked about this earlier today. Senate can confirm nominees, thus changing the court. Can you do me a favor when you write your answer to C? Don't forget, like, to bring it all back to, like, how does that show their power? Because they can change the court. They can start the process of an amendment. Why does that matter? Because they can combat a court decision. How about impeachment? Now this has to be like judge has to have done. What's the word? High crimes and explain one presidential power. That's easy. The president nominates judicial, no, let's just say judges. According to the key, work on his A's with me. Well, right now, really, he should just be, I'd like him to just say capital letters. He doesn't need to be doing the word. A looks like the backwards way. I'm telling you though, he's got this weird, like, brilliant mind that doesn't, like, it makes sense to him. His name is almost a palindrome. You know what that is? All right. Question 3. Have you been paying attention? Don't you hate when Word does this? No. All right, A. Judicial review is the ability of the courts to determine the constitutionality of a law. This, we're just going to be extra. This was established in Marbury v. Madison. Nolan Getton Robinson.
Isn't it spelled wrong?
Getter. Getten. That's my wife's maiden name. Nice name. All right. Why do I do this to myself? Letter B. Explain how judicial review empowers the Supreme Court within the system of checks and balances. I don't know how to. Yeah. Your last name. Oop. Never mind. None of this. Alright. I guess you're just supposed to explain what judicial review does. I think a lot of times students don't get points on this B because they screw it up. So pay attention. B. Judicial review allows a judge to strike down a law passed by Congress and the President as unconstitutional. This allows the courts to assert their power over the other two. Clase, escuchen. In addition to laws, write this down, add it to your paper, because kids get confused on this. In addition to laws, judges can also, Jillian, strike down presidential actions, like executive orders, such as when they, I don't know, halted the Trump travel ban. So, judicial review is not just for laws, it's for presidential actions too. Did you write that, Lexi? Did you write that? Yes. Question C. Describe the process through which the court grants a writ of certiorari. Ooh. According to the key, it says you have to include both of the following. Okay. Here's the things you have to include. Mentioning a lower court than the Supreme Court. Would you have done that, you think? Would you have mentioned the rule of 4, though? Would you remember to do it? I might not have remembered. So it wants both of those things in our answer. So, often a case starts at the federal district court level and then is appealed up to the circuit courts and then to the Supreme Court. In order to be... Think of a writ of certiorari as only applying to the Supreme Court, in my opinion. I think it only applies to the Supreme Court. So in order to be granted a writ of certiorari, 4 of the Supreme Court judges must agree to hear the case. I'll put in parentheses, rule of 4. Done. You have to mention rule of 4. You have to mention a lower level court in order to get points for C. C is only worth 1 point, oddly, so we're gonna end up with a lot of 0.5s or a lot of zeros. Letter D. Tell me how each of the following things influences decisions. Stare decisis and judicial activism. Stare decisis. How do I spell it? Stare decisis means the judges reference prior decisions when making decisions about cases that are before them. That means that the decision in Roe v. Wade in the 1970s will affect states today that try to pass laws to limit or ban abortion because the judge will see Roe v. Wade as setting a precedent that they will likely follow. Lots of words, but I just want to be careful we understand. Is everything I'm writing making sense, and you would have came up with something close to this anyway?
I don't even know. I'm so far behind. Like, every day certiorari.
Huh? You don't understand it? Is that what you said?
No, I just got that.
Okay, but you got it now.
Yeah.
Think of it as only applying to the Supreme Court, writ of certiorari. It's asking the Supreme Court to hear your case. And we're not done with D, though. Do we need the air back on? Are we good? Judicial activism. Judicial activism is when a judge is more likely to strike a law down. Period 1, remember when I told you the other day, like, oh crap, you should write on your margin, this is striking laws down a lot. This is the reason why I was like, oh crap, you should add that. Judicial activism is when a judge is more likely to strike a law down as unconstitutional and try to quote-unquote fix America's problems. An example of this is the decision to allow flag burning as part of freedom of speech. Alright, look. When I said more likely to strike a law down, I got a point. Or when I say trying to fix America's problems, that's another point. So those are things you want to mention in Part D. Alright, I'm not going to have this up there forever. In 7 minutes, I'm taking it down. Get whatever you need. Otherwise, we're on the 7-minute break. Where's my kids? He's so scared. Angel. He's an angel. Nolan, are you going to take AP government? Why am I? Yeah, 14 years to decide. Yep. Mm-hmm. It doesn't look like it. Huh? You can go try. Is the bathroom hallway unlocked?
The one's in the deep.
The one by science. Guess I should stop this recording. Peace. Remember, for your FRQs, I want you guys to have more detail. They've been too short, so please write more.